All right, welcome once again to the beatzillapdx official news break. This is what we are talking about today: the power of the Black grassroots. And if you are coming into this broadcast, could you please hit the like button, share this out if you would on your social media, and also subscribe to this channel if you have not already done so. And if you would like to, you can also join and become a member as well. Thank you all for tuning in. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be upon all of you. Now, with that being said, getting right on into the topic, just wanting to say that now we are going to start seeing going into this next election phase coming down to the wire, having a person sat that had to sit down, having a person placed in there, and now they are going out of their way to now have to make this person extra black overnight. There's a reason, and the reason why is because the power of the Black grassroots has created the environment to where identifying as black seems to be the only hope for Kamala Harris to win an election. Not being East Indian, not having compassion for this group or that group, but making her black without having a black agenda. Because we already know that we've heard what she says.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
She's not doing nothing for black folks.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Now, with that being said, we are starting to notice a good swift change in the fact that people are mentioning our talking points. You know, the things that you hear from the new black media, the things you may hear out here in the ex FBA Freedmen streets, you know, even ADOS, wherever they may particularly gather. I would assume X, because again, that's an organization, but referring to people of the same lineage, that is who we all are, regardless of how you identify or title you use. We are of the one lineage that we refer to and honor, and we would like to make sure the reverence and respect is paid to that. With that being said, we have made so many different strides in recent years that people have to now pay attention to this sector as a voting bloc, because that again is what we are proving to be as they see their former voting bloc passing away, and then have to understand that this particular generation does not look favorably on all of these illegals that they have recently let into this country to undermine us, who have always been their long base. So after being so supportive to the Democratic Party, as most blacks have generally been all these years, they have shown nothing but disdain and double crossing. So with that being said, some of these people are maybe feeling a little nervous. So now they actually have to get out there and start talking about what we're talking about. And that's why they have to make sure Kamala Harris is looked at as black, and they vilify Donald Trump for basically having the same conversation that we are having out here. They are going out of their way to deny that this is an issue in Black America for Kamala Harris. And so, without further ado, let's hear what happened last weekend on Simone Sanders' broadcast.
I feel as though, and Professor Glaude can correct me if I'm wrong, you know, he's the professor here, but I feel as though that Donald Trump was being very intentional and actually doing something quite sinister on two fronts. First, he is essentially, like, who is Donald Trump to tell anyone who they are, let alone the current vice president of the United States of America?
And see, listen to the way they're spinning. Like, okay, so again, to begin with, the woman who asked a question at the NABJ She brought up the question. He did not. And he answered it to what he knew. That was not a racial slur. Questioning if she is black is not any kind of racial slur. Because, it's very funny that we hear this questioning her blackness is a racial slur. Wow. Where has having one's blackness called into question came in before?
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's where I've heard that before. Uh-huh. Yeah, see, things like that are a problem. You understand what I'm saying? And so, yeah. Oh, and not to mention, let's see this again.
Is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you are Indian.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows.
Okay, so we just heard what she said.
So that's the first part. But I think the second part, he was trafficking in something that is very sinister, this underbelly of within I think, parts of the Black community that say,
Underbelly. Sinister. Did you hear the words he just used? Sinister and underbelly. Like this is some kind of underworld, like something criminal, or that's basically how she's like, this is from the underworld. What is she talking about? So let's hear a little more.
Some people are just not black enough. Donald Trump obviously overheard a community conversation somewhere and thought that this was an effective tool to inject into the race. This wasn't just for him to, get himself back into the middle of the conversation.
How would he have heard a community conversation about Kamala Harris? How would he have known that? You understand what I'm saying? That makes no sense. I mean, he's listening to Twitter Spaces. Okay. Okay, I guess he in Tariq Nasheed's Twitter Space, which I would not doubt that both people from all parties are, to be quite honest. But of course you are. You need to get a handle on what's being said. So that means Simone Sanders knows where he got it. Again, pat yourselves on the back, black folks. You are making ripples out here in these streets. Don't let them make you believe that it's not you.
I think he was intentionally trying to give a dog whistle to people who say, oh, maybe the vice president is not what they would call a foundational Black American, an American.
Oh, well, when you go out doing
Indian
stuff like this.
Yes, because you are Indian.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows that.
And then turn around and do this.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No.
What did Trump do at that moment that was so negative? He could do plenty. He's Donald Trump. So he doesn't need any help. But in this case, he's right. That's how she presented herself. But nonetheless, and mind you, that particular video, she was actually running for vice president or running for president then when Mindy Kaling. So let's just keep that in mind.
Descendant of slaves. Therefore, this is not the Black president you all think you would be electing. It is sinister.
It's not.
But it is very intentional, and I think he knows what he's doing. Professor Cloud, what say you?
Well, I would have to say, we don't need Donald Trump for that purpose anyway. Because, see, when you are talking about a group that already told you we ain't rocking with her, we don't need Donald Trump to do that. All that Donald Trump can do, that's not a dog whistle for us. That is, see, what they're afraid of is that this is rubbing off on the Black folks that are tied to us, that's still been tied to the Democrats. Like I tell you all the time, y'all text message this video to a family member or a friend who might be on the cusp of leaving this godforsaken party and this level of thinking that says you have to be one party or the other, and you can think community first, then get something for your vote. Now you're politically bargaining as a unit, as a community, as the people you are. You understand?
No, I tend to agree, Simone. First of all, it's great to be back on the weekend again and see both of you. I think that's absolutely right on a certain level. There are those who call themselves ADOS, Americans of African descendants of slavery, and they are questioning whether or not she's black or not. And I think at the heart of that argument and at the heart of what Donald Trump is doing is a basic misunderstanding. Donald Trump is a little bit more sinister, right? There is this understanding of race in the United States that's very structured, that goes back to the one drop rule.
We don't have any misunderstanding. We went and researched it. That's why, there's such a big discrepancy. And then to say Jamaican means black, that's even a bigger discrepancy because now you're pushing a lie.
There's a
and you have very
conflation of racial
intelligent people
hierarchy
pushing
and
lies.
ethnicity that's going on here. In so many ways, I want to just say that this is a distraction, and it reveals not only how insidious Donald Trump is, but how dumb he is. This is a clown show on so many ways, and I don't want the campaign to get caught up in it. I want the campaign to continue to pursue its message. We're not going back. We're going forward. We don't want to go back to that mess. But those of us who have to address it, we need to address it with the seriousness of history and the seriousness of our moment, I think. But I think you're absolutely right that he's trying to appeal to those ADOS people, Simone.
And he says that proudly. So let me just say, okay. Say he's doing that to appeal to the ADOS people. What is Kamala Harris offering to the descendants of slaves? But can we already, what did we hear from her?
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
So we have to keep it a buck when we come into talk conversation about Kamala Harris. That's just simply who she is. That's who she represented. And to still keep talking about, well, Donald Trump is questioning her blackness. That's one person's blackness, and you think that is a racial slur. Well, this ain't just one person.
I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
And if you can't understand that you are a hypocrite, if you can't understand you are a hypocrite, if you let somebody say that to you and then also say this to you.
This country is doomed. It is doomed, not just because of African Americans, but because by 2040, this country is going to be minority white European.
Minority white. And that's going to be terrible for him. And terrible for you because ain't going to be all these white people to serve. Whew. Good Lord. Not to mention, and see, there's a reason why we have to, see, they understand, this underbelly, it is no underbelly of society. We are the foundation of this country, and we have the right to ask anyone posing or claiming as black.
Where's your family from?
To say, well, it's flat blackness.
No, baby.
You would have to be out your mind. And I'm sure that there are a lot of y'all that are. Shame on all of y'all from that black church that did all of that win with the black church. Y'all just teamed right on up with the Moloch worshipers, and y'all are over there with the golden calf. So that's why we tell y'all.
Got to watch these old niggas.
So at the end of the day, you guys better beware of these folks out here because they do not have our best interests at heart whatsoever. And again, before we go, just let me remind you that when they said, well,
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
But now she's black. But then once elected, this will be her.
It's an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you are Indian.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows that.
Certainly, you could become the first Indian senator in U.S. history, which would be quite an accomplishment.
Not good.
And of course, this is our position over here and understanding. You're going to have to bring some serious tangibles because we already understand the score.
How can black people rise up and overcome?
Get out and vote?
That is incorrect. I'm sorry.
Peace, power, blessings, and protection be up on each and every one of you. Thank y'all for tuning in to this beatzillapdx official news break. And again, hit that like button, hit that share button. And until next time, always remember, hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
Stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all. Have a blessed day.